This next story making its way through social media at warp speed. A massive movement is underway to arrest an African warlord accused of mass crimes against humanity. We are talking rape, murder, and the abduction of children for use as soldiers. His name, Joseph Kony, and he's the leader of the Lord's Resistance Army. The organization Invisible Children has released a 30-minute film online called Kony 2012.
My brother tried to escape. Then they killed using panga. They cut his neck.
Did you see it?
I saw.
As if Kony's crimes aren't bad enough.
You just heard from Jacob, one of the many children who at some point have tried to run from Kony. The human rights group says its goal here is to make Kony famous, not to celebrate him, but to raise support for his arrest and set a precedent for international justice. Next month, Invisible Children plans to plaster the world with posters to raise awareness of Kony and his crimes. What do you think about this huge grassroots undertaking? Will it work, and has it inspired you to do something?
Yeah, that's so funny because my 17-year-old daughter was talking about this morning. She said, yeah, some guy named Kony, he's a warlord, and I saw a video last night and I bawled my eyes out, and when I searched for it online, it was everywhere.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think of this?
You know, it's the greatest thing about social media because everybody talks about the internet and how silly it is, and Facebook and Twitter, but this is exactly why it's such a great thing, because it's over millions of hits in just a short period of time, and everyone has access to learn about this
guy. The atrocities going on in third world countries are so rampant. I mean, this is just one of many. I'm sure they could probably do a documentary every month, and we often don't hear about it.
Well, when you make these documentaries, it's exactly what they're for. I mean, locally, the Pat Tillman story was done in a documentary and what happened to his family. When you see things like this, you know, being in this business, and we're learning things about people we may not have ever heard of a few months ago.
And as journalists, I've never heard of Joseph Kony. Had you heard of him?
No, I hadn't.
I hadn't either until you said it today, and now I know that you can't turn on any Facebook page or any Twitter account and not see something.
So if we don't know, the American public.
How many Americans would have ever heard of Osama bin Laden September 10th of 2001. It took a tragedy for us to know that he became a household name. Hopefully that thing doesn't have to happen. This guy now can be stopped. He's been on the terrorist list since 2008.
Yeah,
and we're just hearing about it.
It is incredible. This video has had, let's see, more than 4 million views so far on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys are really reacting on Facebook.
Rachel Thompson says, yes, I do think it will. We as a society need to be kept informed on real news. And I was shocked that this was someone I had never even heard of.
Leon Cook says, if America is involved, then it shows you that we just can't keep out of other countries' business.
Danielle Jean says, we will be covering the night for this April 21st in Avondale. They're going to be putting posters everywhere.
Michael Williams on Facebook, this organization was able in 2 years to raise and spend almost $9 million. How does this help America's issues?
Jennifer Creasy Turner says, I think it may help. Social media and other forms of communication these days make it a lot more possible. It cannot hurt, that is for sure. And you do get some people who say, well, we need to be addressing the issues in our own country, but we are talking about the world's children. How can you justify a child being ripped out of its parents' arms as it's sleeping at night, and forcing that child to kill its own parent? How can you not do something?
You can't. When I see that, localize it. How many of us would see someone harming a child in our neighborhood and say, it's none of my business? Of course it's our business. That's our job. If we have the ability to help, especially when children are in need, we have to.
Yeah, we're not an isolated society anymore.
And we're getting emails too. Zach in Glendale shared an email, with us saying that he really hopes that our newscast, we're equipped to get the word out there. So we're hoping to do that for you, Zach, and so many others who really want this out.
Well, let's see if we can really come together as a global community, and it'll be interesting to see how far this movement goes.
Yeah, we'll be watching and we'll let you know.